Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Samlab. As time moves on during routine splicing into the VEX network, I began to notice strange data clusters or code whilst expunging the network. Vast sums of rectangular or cube-shaped mirrors glistened against the rich neon lights of this procedurally generated space the VEX had created for themselves to protect the root mind. Now, I don't know when it happened, but for some time I began to notice these same apparitions or data showing up around the tower. Amongst the failure of electrical power and network feedback, now visible to the naked eye. So, what is it? And why do more of them appear around our beloved leaders each time we come back from entering the network? And I believe I have uncovered the answer during a discussion with my fellow lawmasters, Kaz PhD, Tower Mom, and 6-foot dwarf. But before we delve further into this expansive mystery, have a listen to this weapon law entry titled Pleiades Corrector. Thus it reads,
No, I don't think I'll tell you what it's for. That would be too easy.
Lakshmi 2. Supplemental Report FWC-2298J. Blackout. The Endless Night. What is it? What does it do? We may not have all the answers, but here's what we know. Remote scans of the Endless Night either failed to return data or returned contradictory data. This behavior suggested an emittance of electromagnetic disruption, which indicated that this is more than a simulation projected over the city. Confirmation of this disruption has occurred as every probe sent into the clouds, even shielded ones, experienced acute electrical overload within seconds. Now, having confirmed existence of the EM field, we have reached a new hypothesis in our re-evaluation of our initial scans. We believe that we are not, in fact, receiving contradictory data, but a scrambling of our own scans rewritten with new information. These scans are subsequently being bounced back to us and are infiltrating our systems via routing programs masquerading as collected data. Anyone wondering how they've managed to shut down our power distribution and water purification facilities without firing a shot needs look no further. They set a trap, and we sprang it. This information absolutely must be aired to the rest of the consensus. Some of my colleagues believe the actual night visualization is meant to be a means of psychological warfare. Whether that is intended or not is unclear, though there has undoubtedly been an effect on the population, as reports of illness and sleep loss have spiked considerably. I've moved to cease all data collection, but I have repeatedly been overridden by higher clearances. I must again recommend that we sever all connections and terminate any data collection sweeps. We're digging our own graves otherwise. Whatever executive still has that uplink running, knock it off. You're playing with fire. FWC R&D Head, Asha Saad. The future war cult. These time-obsessed vacant of the future. In their mad scramble for power, they throw caution to the wind as if it were nothing. But I digress. As you have heard, FWC has discovered the truth behind the Endless Night. It is a contagion, a marriage of EMP, data loops, and psychological warfare, and will fall to one, if not the other. The tower and the last city is almost beginning to turn on one another. And it's all because of this Vex simulation. And that appears not to be a simulation at all. The field itself is an electromagnetic pulse, preventing any information from being relayed or collected properly. So, here are my questions, and these are not confirmed. Early I mentioned a conversation that took place. One common thread we shared as we talked is that these data cubes only began showing up in places where we as Guardians frequent. What do I mean? If you observe the tower closely, during peak times of day you will of course observe patterns of who and where Guardians may go during their visit to the tower. Is it possible that data collections are bringing Vex code back into the city? But are Guardians doing the same? We have the power to splice, sure, but at what cost? Power after power we acquire, and there is no telling how this melting pot of quirks will pull together. How long will it be until this somewhat dormant code springs to life and brings about the worst scenario we could ever imagine? What if Vex wanted us to splice into their network? What if it's a trap? We interrupt this message to deliver the most distressing of news. We have found it. Or it has found us. Quarrier. Blade transform. During a routine mission into the Vex network, neutrino scattering was detected. And that can only mean one thing. Taken. Yes, Guardians, it is as we feared, and it has been all for nothing. Savathûn has been one step ahead of us the whole time. Mithrax has found the data loops which lead to the center of it all, but we cannot rush with haste. We need to plan what comes next. Osiris wishes to capture Quarrier. Saint wants to destroy it, as does Mithrax. For now, Ikora has given Osiris access to all the hidden classified information on Savathûn in order to plan our next moves. Curious. But it does not end there. We have rumors to believe that someone or something has invaded our last city. There is no telling who it might be, but if you think about it, it may become more apparent. Have a listen to this lore entry from the book Beneath the Endless Night, titled VII Ripe. Thus it reads: I walk through the city on broken legs. I am conspicuous, but the people here grant me many affordances. I choose this form well. I sway and catch myself on a low stone wall. I am ready, earlier than anticipated, but I must still learn the next step. I look up toward the false dusk I have hung, but it is not yet finished. I am afraid, but it is thrilling to engage in something new after all this time. Something unknown. I close my eyes tightly so they do not bulge. The feeling passes. I open my eyes and search the faces of the people around me for familiarity. I did not mean to. I twist inwardly with disgust. When they first reached for me, I reached back in acid mockery, and they opened themselves to me in stupid, naked innocence. I was giddy. My fingers raked their minds. I forced my will through them using only words and met no resistance. Their naivety was beyond description, and I feasted until my eyes welled with black tears. Now I reach as often as they do, and when they reach back, I am thankful. I speak with them. I seek their company, their companionship. This is not pity, for I know pity. What is this? I drop to both knees, clear my mouth and vomit. The thin, black fluid turns to vapor and disappears. I clench the gangling black mass that threatens to unspool recklessly from within this shell of flesh. My new arms are too thin, too weak. My new shell, still bound with thick mucus. Not yet, I say. A moment of blackness, and then a man places his hand on me, on my shoulders, on my back. He asks if I am ill, and he sees my flat eyes, my teeth black with ripeness, and he prepares to scream. I let him keep his mind. I push breath up and through my ruined mouth and speak a simple lie. He stops, smiles, laughs, shakes his head. He points a finger at me in mocking astonishment before walking away. I swallow the fatty morsel of his ignorance, and it gives me the strength to stand once more. Cover my face and resume my walk. I feel this form splitting beneath its wrappings, held together weakly by wet strands of sinew, and from deep inside, stirred by the latest scrap of deception, I hear the oily growl of the worm. Even here, basted in deception, both ample and rich, the worm cries ravenously. It has grown grotesque, skin taut, overfed, and still it howls for more. It commands me to keep it alive. I look up, beyond the flickering net of darkness, and see what rests just beyond, waiting for me. The worm roars. Only time will tell. But never fear, Guardians. There is always hope. That despite all, we can rise above the negative and keep shining bright. Unity and love for one another may be the key, but are you willing to open the door? That's all I have for you today. I hope that you have enjoyed watching and listening to this video today. Please feel free to leave a like and comment, and also consider subscribing and hit the bell notification to find out when my next lore video goes live. Remember that no matter what you're facing at this time, you can do all things. Stay safe and Godspeed.